Fair Use Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. August 12th. A look backward. First, we take a look backward and try to discover where we have been at fault. Next, we make a vigorous attempt to repair the damage we have done. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 77. As a traveler on a fresh and exciting AA journey of recovery, I experienced a newfound peace of mind, and the horizon appeared clear and bright, rather than obscure and dim. Reviewing my life to discover where I had been at fault seemed to be such an arduous and dangerous task. It was painful to pause and look backward. I was afraid I might stumble. Couldn't I put the past out of my mind and just live in my new golden present? I realized that those in the past whom I had harmed stood between me and my desire to continue my movement toward serenity. I had to ask for courage to face those persons from my life who still lived in my conscience, to recognize and deal with the guilt that their presence produced in me. I had to look at the damage I had done and become willing to make amends. Only then could my journey of the Spirit resume. Courage to Change, One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, August 12th. A particular incident reminds me of the sense of surrender that I feel when I truly take the third step and turn my will and my life over to God's care. Some years ago, my sister discovered that she had a brain tumor. Her initial diagnosis was dire, also, fortunately, inaccurate. When I heard about my sister's choices for treatment, I felt that she should pursue certain avenues that she had ruled out. I grew increasingly impatient with her choices until I read a commentary by a person I respect, suggesting that the avenues I had been championing could do more harm than good. That's when I realized the limits of my own understanding. I saw that my sense of urgency stemmed not from certainty, but from fear. I discovered that my only honest course of action was to turn my fear and my love over to the care of my higher power. I could no longer pretend to know what was best. Today's reminder: I am not a rocket scientist, a philosopher, or a wizard. Even if I were all three, I would still find myself looking off the edge of my understanding into a vast unknown. As I recognize my own limitations, I am more grateful than ever for a higher power who is free from such restrictions. There is a quote from Plato, and it reads, "Time will change and even reverse many of your present opinions. Refrain, therefore, a while from setting yourself up as a judge of the highest matters." Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, August 12th. Enough. Something inside cries out, "Enough, enough, I've had enough." And then they are ready to take that first and often most difficult step toward dealing with their disease. Have we really had enough? This is the crucial question we must ask ourselves as we prepare to work the first step in Narcotics Anonymous. It doesn't matter whether or not we arrived in NA with our families intact, our careers still working for us, and all the outward appearances of wholeness. All that matters is that we have reached an emotional and spiritual bottom that precludes our return to active addiction. If we have, we will be truly ready to go to any lengths to quit using. When we inventory our powerlessness, we ask ourselves some simple questions. Can I control my use of drugs in any form? What incidents have occurred as a result of my drug use that I didn't want to happen? How is my life unmanageable? Do I believe in my heart that I am an addict? If the answers to these questions lead us to the doors of Narcotics Anonymous, then we are ready to move on to the next step toward a life free from active addiction. If we have truly had enough, then we will be willing to go to any lengths to find recovery. Just for today, I admit that I have had enough. I am ready to work my first step. Today, Emotions Anonymous, August 12th. Reflection for today. The road to self-acceptance is long and often full of pain. When we feel rejected or misunderstood, it hurts and often tempts us to question the value of our needs and feelings. The 12-step program gives us the tools we need to know and accept ourselves. Although self-acceptance cannot be obtained quickly or easily, once we give ourselves completely to this simple program, we start on the path toward valuing ourselves. All lasting happiness is dependent on a healthy love and acceptance of myself. Meditation for today. Let me not be detoured or discouraged by the pain involved in growing. Today I will remember I cannot be right for anyone unless I am right for myself. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics. Dysfunctional families. August 12th. Reparenting. The need to reparent ourselves comes from our efforts to feel safe as children. BRB, page 83. Because of our dysfunctional childhoods, we usually see things differently than others. We don't feel all warm and fuzzy when we see TV commercials where the salesperson loudly exclaims, "Come on in, we'll treat you like family." In our minds, that doesn't sound like such a good thing because our families weren't safe. And when we feel compelled to buy a greeting card for a parent, we are grateful we can find something in the humor section rather than choose one that gushes with gratitude. But underneath the humor, there is a deep sadness. In ACA, we learn to recognize the reality of our feelings. We make a choice that instead of remaining under the layers of dysfunction, we will take positive steps to reparent ourselves using the tools of ACA. These steps in the path we're on may not always be crystal clear, but we keep coming back until we find where we need to go. Along the way, we grieve the loss of what might have been, and we work towards someday getting to a place of forgiveness, which will help us far more than anything else. The affirmation reads, "On this day I honor my feelings and the reality of what was in order to choose a new way of living and reparenting myself." Please like, share, subscribe, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be. To know that recovery is possible, that you are not alone, one day at a time.